County News and Sports on HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and should be on the Eagle on Facebook page. Thanks very much for being here as we are in El Paso, and that is where the girls have flown to take on Bel Air and the Highlanders, the Lady Highlanders. Right now you're seeing JV game, and it is just into the start of the fourth quarter. Be 53-12. Hobbs is leading, and they have been pretty much since I've been here, and probably before that. There was halftime score was 34-6, and so the third quarter score saw Hobbs score 19 and Bel Air Highlanders score 6, and I know one of those was a three-pointer. I'm going to continue bonus coverage, though, before we get to the varsity game. Thank you very much for being here once again. As we also have other games. We have Levington playing, as well as the Hobbs boys playing, and Hobbs against San Angelo. And I remember that trip from last season. It was a tough road. San Angelo pretty much handled Hobbs, and thinking that they may not be the same situation in Task Arena, hoping that the Hobbs Eagles have improved since last season. They started off slow last season. This year, they are looking a whole lot brighter, a whole lot faster. So are the girls. In fact, I'm going to talk about that here in a moment as far as how I feel their season has gone so far in the first 4 games. It's very interesting, very exciting to see what Coach Carpenter is doing with the girls on the floor. And some of them not even on the floor, taking a break and showing different looks. So we will be back in moments, but right now, start of the fourth quarter, and it is 53-12, Hobbs over Bel Air on the JV squad. Be back in a moment right here on HobbsAmerica.com. Actually, HobbsAmerica.com. We do need to thank our sponsors, though, before we get into it, though. So let's thank Eastern New Mexico University, Lasco Construction, TDS, First American Bank of Hobbs, Badger Trucking, Master Plumbers, NMR Pipeline, Eunice Pump and Supply, Divine Energy Services, Forest Tire, Hobbs Express, SunGuard Precision, Southwest Siding, Windows, and Doors, along with Lee County State Bank, Bel Air Bowl, and DNC Electric. Be back in a moment with more coverage. We continue with the JV squad to start off, and then the varsity right after this. Just to remind everybody that we are in El Paso, Texas, and that means that Mercy Rule will not take effect 53-14. Usually it's a running clock, but that is not the case once again because we are under the rules of the Texas high schools. So we've got 6:20 to go in this fourth quarter, and it is 53-14, Hobbs over Bel Air, the JV squads. Be back in a moment. 4:08 remaining in the fourth quarter with a 58-14 lead for the Hobbs Lady Eagles of the JV squad. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about this Bel Air Lady Highlanders. Coming to the game at 8-7. They've had a 4-game losing streak. They are 3-0 at home, and so the last 3 games that they played were at the Artesia Bulldog City of Champions tournament, and they lost all 3 of those, obviously. Their motto here is loyal forever, which is always a good motto. So that one goes in for 2, and that makes it 60-14. 4 minutes remaining in the game. Now this school was founded in 1957, and the head coach for them is Cecilia Olin. Their colors, as you may notice, are scarlet, white, and a little blue in there as well. And maybe not for their uniforms, but those are the school colors, scarlet, white, and blue. They have a sunken, it's strange to see. If you look outside, you can see up above, you can see the street level. Of course, they're one below. We got 3:21 to go. Let's see, what else can we talk about as far as Bel Air and the Lady Highlanders? Well, they are Texas squad, obviously, from El Paso. 5A is what they are in. And they have, last time they won was against Riverside. That was a score of 54-12. Actually, when they started, earlier in this season, they also faced Riverside in a tournament and had a similar score, 55-14. Lost to Montwood, beat Harmony Science Academy 56-10 in that tournament as well. They started the tournament and went to play Riverside, beat them again 49-33, a closer game. And then had an opponent that they were able to beat 42-19. And then Cantillo, which they lost to by 3 points, 37-34, to finish that tournament. Last time they did play here was 11-24 against Riverside, as I mentioned, before going on the road to East Lake to lose 46-24. Played Deming once again. That was at the Artesia City of Champions. Faced Deming first, lost to them by 7, 47-40. Then after that was Artesia, and they faced the Bulldogs and lost by 51-36. And played Carlsbad last in the consolation and lost that one 61-25. Some could say that could be a gauge for what the game is going to be tonight. Again, though, no mercy rule. Travel is going to get it back the other way. As they're going to inbound from the side. Hobbs 62, Bel Air 14. 2 minutes to go in this JV squad game. The Eagles coming in with a 4-0 record. Carpenter working on his 539th, actually 540th win if he gets this one tonight. But that doesn't matter as much to him as other things, like winning the season, getting his girls the best possible chances of winning. 1-0 away. They haven't had too many games. This is their second game away of the 5 so far. And we'll talk about free throws and more things as it goes along. But we've got 1:44 remaining. We'll find out how much time is going to be put up for the warm-up. And it is 5:56. Pause for a moment, be back. We've got 1:44 to go and a 62-15 lead for Hobbs in the JV squad game. We are at 6 seconds to go. 62-17. The JV squad, Hobbs, going to walk away with victory on this one. And we will have, right after that, the time for the warm-ups for the varsity. Air ball on that one is obvious. 1.4 seconds remaining. It looks like it'll be inbounded by Hobbs. But it should be a final score of 62-17. And it is. 62-17. That means 5 points for Bel Air in the fourth. 5 points in the fourth. And 9 for the Hobbs, the Lady Eagles. Once again, final score 62-17. Bel Air falls. And with no mercy rule, it went to the full length. As soon as we find out how much time there is on the clock for warm-ups, we will let you know and go from there, and we'll start our pregame right after that. Well, it looks like we've got about 3:30 to go before we get tip-off. May get the national anthem. Nevertheless, though, it's far less time, but we are going to work with it as we're getting the starting lineups for both sides. Once again, this is a 5A Texas squad in El Paso. We are in El Paso, Texas. That means mercy rule is not applied here for the Texas squad. Islanders come in with an 8-7 record. 4-game losing streak, 3-0 though at home, so they have a winning win. They've won 3-0. They have not lost here yet, and their motto is "Loyal Forever." Have a small squad, but so do we too. But as far as number of people, I think we are down to 12 that came in today. Just having a little trouble getting the other side. As you can see, the Lady Eagles are warming up. They have a couple of key people that are out. Elena Armitage is one of those, and the other one is going to be Carila Rivera. But the 5 that are going to be starting today, I think they're the normal starters, at least so far this season, will be Madison Zepeda, along with Zaylee Hardison, Zoe Ross, the 8th grader. That's amazing. I always find it amazing. Ariela Navarra and Kaislyn Muniz will be the 5. Now we have, of course, the 8th grader, 2 juniors, and 2 seniors starting. Oh, they got it up to 5 minutes and 40 seconds now for the warm-ups. That's better. And have to deal with a little bit of allergies. I've been doing that for a little while now, like years. Hopefully it won't cause too much difficulty for you to be able to understand me. Always got to go with the preparations on these things, especially so important for the start of the season. I think Coach Carpenter would definitely agree with that. Wants to make sure his girls are in top shape, be able to come out here and play their best 110%. For the other girls, for the Hobbs Lady Eagles, it's Jordan Mendoza, number 14, the junior, along with Mariah Mojica, sophomore, number 20. And I was confusing her with her sister or relative of some kind, the other Mojica that was on just last year. Audrey Mackey, number 34, the freshman, along with number 42, that'll be Melanie Monroe, and number 52, Katie Godwin, will be seeing some time out on the floor as well. For the Bel Air Lady Highlanders, really Navarro. Navarre. Oh, with an O at the end. So it is Navarro. I was like, how do you say Navarro without O? So it is Navarro. So thank you to our listener. Of course, he is known as the editor of the News Sun, Jason Fama. As a lot of people know, is a big Kansas City Chiefs fan. Just the other day, Tiffany Stuber had her birthday, so happy birthday to her. She's going to be involved in the play that's coming up. It is going to be Mistletoe in a Spotlight, or anyway, it's going to be happening in 2 weeks. So it'll be interesting to see her. She is a little actor that enjoys going out and does plays from time to time. We are about to get underway here. Now let's find out here in just a moment. Right after, we're going to go ahead and take a break because they're going to go ahead and do the national anthem, looks like. Nope, they're not. They're saying no, they're not. So the girls had lined up. Now they're not. Once again, Zapata is going to be starting along with Hardison, Ross, Navarro, and Muñez for the girls, for the Hobbs-led Eagles. And let's see who is going to be starting. Looks like there is a small group. But out on the floor is Monterez to start. 5'9". Looks like she'll be doing the jump for the ball, along with Guzman, sophomore. And then we've got 24, Torres. Number 4, that is going to be Ponter. And last is going to be at 4. One more is missing. 10, 11, 24. Oh, and that is 34 as we're off. Tip goes to Hobbs. And already started. Thank you very much for being here on Lee County News and Sports as the girls get the ball to the right of the arc. It's going to be in the hands of Zapata. She's going to work it over to her left. Try to get it to her player, but she did not get it quite to. That'd be Muñez. Muñez is the leader in free throws so far this season. Back to Zapata on the left elbow. Going to go ahead and drive the lane. Gets double team, loses the handle, and it will be a turnover for Hobbs. First one of the game. As it goes the other way. And it is a ball that goes back over to Hobbs. Turnover for Bel Air. First one of theirs. Get back into it. 7:15 remaining in the first quarter, as that is Zapata with 3 up and in as she sinks it from the left side. And already 3-0 for the Hobbs-led Eagles. Zapata blocks it, gives it back, and it goes up and in for Ross. Zoe Ross, that is her first bucket. So it'll be 5-0. Back to Zapata once again, stealing it. As it'll be another turnover for Bel Air. Third one as it goes inside. That'll be turnaround for a nice shot. Miss, rebounded by, that is going to be Hardison. And a foul is going to be called. No, I guess not. There's no foul. It's going to go the other way. Five nothing. Hobbs in the lead so far. 6:40 in the first. Inbounded by Bel Air. And the Highlanders, Lady Highlanders, lose the pass. Another turnover, and that's number 4 for them. Up for 3 on the right corner, and that is going to be close, but no cigar for that is Muñez. Another 3 from Zapata. That time she does drain it. That's her second tray of the game, and that makes it 8-0. Still in the backcourt are the Highlanders. It will be knocked. Oh, actually, they're going to go ahead and get the timeout before the 10-second violation. Let's go ahead and take a timeout. It's 8-0 so far. And we have a 6:11 for the time. Be back in a moment as we continue coverage right here on Lee County News and Sports. Welcome back as we are 6:11 in the game, like I said, in the first quarter. I want to thank our sponsors, the DNC Electric, Bel Air Bowl, SunGuard Precision, and a whole lot more. Thank you very much. Get the ball in. That'll be Torres to Duran. And then they get it out of bounds. It's going to continue to be. It goes off the hands of a Hobbs Lady Eagle. So retention by the Lady Highlanders. Torres is going to inbound it. Going to get the hands of Acosta. Actually, no, that's Monterez. And then back over to Duran. Gets it inside the paint, but no, misses it. It's going to be picked up and taken by Hardison. That'll be a turnover for Bel Air. Going to drive the lane, get it back to Zepeda. She's going to try to drive the lane instead, get it to a three-point shot on the left wing. And that'll go in for Zoe Ross. I want to say that's her second one as well. So doing well on the three-point shots as they're not getting any arm or any hands in front of them. This one's going to be 2 for Ross. She is going to go to the line to shoot 2. She has shot 7 of 15 so far this season for the 8th grader. She averages about 11 points a game. Let's see, that first one's going to go in. So 11, actually that'll be, haven't scored that one yet. Maybe it was a violation. Either way, that one is going to roll in. So yes, so both of those counted. Going back the other way for the Highlanders, and that will be a foul. First one for the Hobbs Lady Eagles. Both have 1. Guzman was fouled. Guzman now has the ball, gets it over to her right. And that is in the hands of Pinter. Going to be a kick ball, or actually it's off the leg, but either way it's going to go back towards Hobbs. Turnover number 6 for Bel Air. Ross is going to take it in. Actually, it's going to be over to Zepeda. Zepeda is going to cross the timeline, get it over to the top of the arc. Work to the left, get it to the left wing. And see about getting it, but instead it is deflected and taken over for the second turnover for Hobbs. As it now is in the hands of Duran again. Goes out of bounds. Last touch looks like by Hobbs. Substitution coming in will be Hardison, getting back into it. And going out will be Navarro. A runner for 2 right in the lane or near the lane, but misses it for Monterez. Rebound by Hobbs, going the other way is Zepeda. Going to hit that three-pointer right where she needs or wants it, but misses it that time. And rebound by Bel Air, but loses the ball. And Zepeda once again takes advantage of that as goes inside, dishes it underneath. Now she has it back out over to the right, top of the arc. To the left for a 3 kicker. And misses everything, but is rebounded and put up again by Jordan Mendoza for 2. 15-0 run for Hobbs as that one goes out of bounds, and we'll be back another turnover for Bel Air. And they've already had 8 so far as it's 4:07 in this first quarter. Be Zepeda taking over the ball. Getting across the timeline, going to her right. Loses the handle, gets it. And then takes it over to Ross. Ross is going to put up a 3 and drain it. And so far, with nobody blocking them, they're putting those 3s in pretty easily. Going back the other way, it's going to be Guzman. Puts it up in, no good. We'll miss it, and will be rebounded by Hobbs. Going back the other way will be Ross. That would be the Bel Air. Three-pointer on the way on the right-hand side. Misses off the side. Put back in off the rebound. That'll be Monroe's. It was Guzman who tried the three and missed. First points of the game for Bel Air, 18-12. Two-pointer missed. (18-2) is, there we go. 3:04 remaining in the first quarter. Again, no mercy rule on this side of the state. As that gets in the hands of Monterez. Back over to Pinter. And Monterez once again going to go ahead and drive the lane. Switch around. Tries the layup, misses it. That was blocked by Godwin. And going back the other way. And that is going to be Munoz. Munoz into the hands of Zepeda. Tried to get that to go in, but instead will be a kickball off of Zepeda. And that'll be a turnover for Hobbs, third one of the game. So that means inbounding the ball will be Duran, Mia Duran, 5'5", the senior. Substitutions coming in, and two that are leaving for Bel Air are going to be Acosta and Torres. It's going to be Guzman. Going to go ahead and get that back in the hands of Guzman. Crosses the timeline. And works it back just before the timeline. That'll be in the hands of Duran. Now out of it. And that is O'Donnell. O'Donnell gets a bit of a push, and that is going to be against Ross. I believe that is her first foul. Team second. Thought they had more fouls than that, but so far 1 and 1 for each side. But Hobbs should have 2 now. In any case, that's a running shot put up, missed. Rebounded by Hobbs, and that'll be by Hardison. Going back the other way, that'll be quickly to Navarro. Navarro inside and back out again. Going to drive the lane, put up a running shot, misses, and the rebound will be long. And go to the hands of Guzman. Guzman almost traveled, got it knocked out of her hand instead, so that could save them a turnover, but they did get the turnover. Number 9. That'll be number 4 for Hobbs. Back to another turnover for Bel Air. And back and forth turnovers. Try to get the shot to go in, but instead does not for Mendoza. She will be inbounding the ball for Hobbs with 1:33 remaining in the first. Goes into Godwin and puts it in for 2. Nicely done. Nice touch for Katie. Makes it 20-2 with 1:22 remaining in the first. Mendoza tried to get another steal, could not get it. We'll go into the paint. As that is O'Donnell, who puts up a nice running shot for 2 and gives the Lady Highlanders 4 points. Over on her own, Mendoza puts up a 3 on the corner left, misses, rebounded by, that'll be Navarro, and missed her rebound shot. So they're getting some second chance points. They're just not being able to make them. But it doesn't matter right now with 20-4. Hobbs needs to slow down a little bit and try to regroup on their shots, as inbounding will be, looks like that'll be Acosta to O'Donnell. Just 50 seconds remaining in the first quarter. O'Donnell goes back to, that is Acosta. Working against Zepeda for a moment. And then handsome Monterez. Three-pointer on the way and misses off the back of the rim. It'll be no good and rebounded by Hobbs, as that is Ross, who goes coast to coast, trying to put it up, but it is blocked. And now is going to be picking herself up off the floor. Cepeda for three as they get it back. Misses that one off the back for the three-pointer. And will be rebounded once again by Bel Air. 12 seconds remaining in the first quarter. It is last shot time for Bel Air in the first, as that was O'Donnell who tried to, or thought about a three, but instead moved, and when she turned the ball over with a walk. And the travel at 3.4 seconds remaining will get Hobbs one more opportunity to be able to get another basket. Going to go and inbound that just a little too hard, and that will run out the clock. So it was thrown over to Mendoza. Mendoza couldn't handle it, and the score in the first will be 20-4. Be back in a moment as we continue coverage right here on HobbsAmerica.com, where we're on the Lee County News and Sports Channel. Thanks for coming back, and thank some of our sponsors, be Badger, First American Bank of Hobbs, Master Plumbers, NMR Pipeline, Divine Energy Services, and Eunice Pump and Supply, along with Forest Tire. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Cepeda had 2 3-pointers, along with three three-pointers from Ross. So that right there is 5. That's 15 points of their 20. Pretty outstanding, and 2 for 2 so far from Ross from the charity stripe. And then they put up 19, so not sure if there was a correction on the score, but nevertheless, so 19-4 is what they've got right now as we're about to start the second quarter. So make those adjustments. So a 15-point lead for Hobbs. No mercy rule is going to be added or used in this Texas game. So right now it's going to be Muñez along with Cepeda. Also Navarro. And we've also got, looks like that is Mendoza and Godwin on the floor for Hobbs and the Lady Eagles. Inbounding will be the Lady Eagles. There is a moment. Getting everything set up. Looks like they're double checking the score book. They said I had 20, but I'm not sure where they're taking off a 3-point shot. They got a thumbs up from coach, and it'll be 19-4 starting the second quarter. In the hands of Cepeda, she goes and drives the lane from the right-hand side, gets it over to Godwin, puts up a shot, gets her own rebound, and then ties it up with Janaya. And so it'll be a turnover for Hobbs. 4 in the first quarter is what I've got unofficially. As it gets into the hands of Acosta. And that will be Duran, Maya. And now crossing the timeline is going to be Monroe's. And it'll be thrown out of bounds. First turnover of the second quarter for Bel Air. So a heave across the timeline, and that'll get in the hands of Muñez. Tries a 3, misses off the side, rebounded by Bel Air. Almost a takeaway, still possible as it goes across the timeline, but will be on the floor as a couple of Eagles wrestle it against Jania. say it'll be a timeout. Yep, she was able to call the timeout while she was on the floor. So it is 7:14 remaining in the second quarter. We'll take a timeout with them. Be back in just a moment as we continue coverage right here on the Hobbs Eagle Network. No score yet in the second as it is 19-4. Hobbs on top by 15. Took away a point from the first quarter. Otherwise, it was 20-4. Inbound of the ball will be Duran. And now over to Acosta. Acosta goes back to Duran. Duran's going to work on the left-hand side against Zepeda. Now to the right now. Inside, back out again. Tried to, actually I thought she passed it, but instead Duran still has it and gets stolen away. That is going to be by Hardison. Passes it ahead, but loses the handle. So it'll be a turnover for each side as the Highlanders are able to get it. A three-pointer on the way and missed off the back of the rim and up and out of bounds for Duran. As that one is going to be a turnover. And go back the other way. Really, so it bounced off. I see. So there was a rebound bucket and the foul. So the and one is going to go up. So 2 points. And on the line to shoot the one is going to be Acosta. And she misses. Acosta missed. First one. First one for Bel Air on the other side. It's going to be Zepeda with a fast break. Puts up a floater and drops it in and gets the foul. So the and one is going to count as well for Zepeda, who has had 6 points so far. Now make that 8. One more opportunity for first foul for Bel Air in the second quarter. They have a nice scoreboard, but does not show who got the foul. One, and it is in. So 22-6, 16-point lead for Hobbs. And almost lost in the backcourt. Still there, barely got it out. And double teamed, triple teamed at some points for Monterez. O'Donnell has the ball now, and Lillian is trying to get it around Zepeda. Does sort of, but then passes it back, almost lost the ball. Guzman has it against Ross, and now it's back to O'Donnell. Inside to Guzman. Actually, it was going to be passed over her. Shot attempt up and no good for Monroe's has the rebound and would be fouled against. That'll be against Ross. So Ross is second. And that'll be the team first, actually team second. Inbounded is going to be to O'Donnell, goes out of bounds off of Zepeda. Will remain Bel Air ball. So 8-7 this season so far, 4-game losing streak, yeah. As that one is lost, Zepeda goes in, passes it up to Ross. Ross gets it in for the nice layup 2. Just rolls that right in. So the 8th grader still showing she's got strong powers of scoring. That makes it 24-6. All alone for 2 and misses off the side. Could not get the rebound. That is going to be Monterez. I should know that was Guzman that had that. But it does go out of bounds. Last touch apparently by Hobbs. So Bel Air will be inbound of the ball. Coming out will be O'Donnell. Looks like coming in will be Toscanero. And a nice layup for 2 for Acosta. Driving the lane, getting it in, and scoring is going to be, that is Navarro. quick, too. Caught the defense napping on that one. As we're going to have some couple of substitutions. Looks like one of them is going to be Hardison. Now it's going to go to Acosta. Works against Cepeda, who loses the ball. Acosta did. And it's going to go out of bounds. Last touch by Bel Air. And it will be Hobbs' ball. 4:55 remaining in the second quarter, or the first half. As that one is going to be passed over to Muñez. Gets it over to the right-hand side to Cepeda. Thought about a three, but instead it's going to drive the lane. Stops for a moment, goes ahead, pops it. Misses it off the back of the rim and will be rebounded by Bel Air. Going back the other way quickly will be, actually that's not O'Donnell, but that is going to be a two-pointer missed. She rebounded her own shot. Puts it up for two. That is going to be Kiscanero. Three-pointer on the way for Hobbs on the right-hand side. Misses everything is Ross. But it is rebounded by Hobbs. Goes inside to Godwin. Godwin's going to go back outside to the left-hand side and get it over to Cepeda in her favorite shooting spot. But instead will be inside back to Cepeda for three. Misses off the back of the rim and tries for Cepeda once again, but instead did not expect that pass and will go out of bounds. Would have been a backcourt violation if she would have got the ball anyway. So it saved a lot of time for that. So turnover for Hobbs on that shot. And we'll go back the other way. That'll be Tiscanero to inbound. Back in the hands of Guzman. Guzman's going to try to get the ball, but had the pass blocked and got it back. Against, that looks like that is going to be Ross. And Ross is going to come up with another foul, unfortunately. Third one of the game for her. Also a third foul for Hobbs. She's been the only one, it seems like, that has been getting the fouls called against her. Guzman, top of the arc, back of the line as well. Goes over inside to the right-hand side to Acosta. And a three, actually it was a long two, misses, rebounded by Hobbs. And that is going to be a coast-to-coast on that one. Nice roll-in for Ross. 2 more points for her. I think she's actually leading the scoring. And another turnover. Cepeda tried to get that pass, missed it, but she did control it. So no turnover for Hobbs. As it goes inside, tries to get it over to, that is going to be Hardison, misses. And we'll go back the other way, another turnover for Hobbs. Over to the left wing for a three. Hits the back of the rim, no good, and Godwin is going to get the rebound on that one. And it's going to go quickly back the other way for Hobbs. Into the hands of Muñez. Over to Godwin. Back to her right. For three, and Ross drains that one. And that, I believe, is her 4th three-pointer. Score is 31-8 with 2:30 remaining in the first half. Got a score in the first. It's going to be Hobbs 15 and San Angelo 15 as well. So the Bobcats not having an easy time as they did last year. Hobbs trying to get full court pressure, doing so far with a possible 10-second violation if they do not get it across the timeline in time. And Hobbs still does not have possession of the ball. It will be a jump ball. Got saved on that one as it was Ross and I believe that was Torres who got caught in that jump ball. It will be a turnover for Bel Air as it goes to Hobbs. Timeout on the floor. We've got 2:12 remaining in the first half, 31-8. And we've also got the 15-15 score in Hobbs. Be back in a moment as we continue coverage right here on the Hobbs. I should say Eagle 100.5. Usually it's on that, but instead should be on Facebook page, also on YouTube and HobbsAmerica.com. So far this season, Ross is our best game was game number 2, and that's when she scored 20 points. Of course, that was against Mayfield. Zepeda with the ball over to Ross on the right. Dishes to the center. Now to the left is Zepeda. He's going to go ahead and get it back over to a 3-point shot on the way on the right-hand side. Misses. And that is going to be from Mojica, who's getting to see some action. Missed her shot. Got a rebound. Got it back in for Hardison. And nicely done on that one for 2. 33-8. Minute 40 to go. And Bel Air with the ball in the backcourt. Finally gets it. Well, it's going to be stolen. Going to be in the hands of Zepeda as it gets to the left-hand side for a 3-pointer. In and out, no good. And that'll be a rebounding foul. Looks like that'll be against Hardison. So Hardison with that foul, I believe. And that'll be a first if it is. Inbounded, though, for Bel Air. As the Bel Air is starting to have some difficulty getting across, but they did get across the timeline that time to the front court. But again, traveled that time, so it'll be a loss again for Bel Air. Already 7 turnovers unofficially in this quarter. Back in the hands of Munoz, over to Zepeda to the left wing. We'll get it to the top of the arc for Mendoza. Mendoza going to go ahead and drive the lane, get bad shot, misses, and rebounded by Bel Air. Almost stolen away by Mendoza. Actually, that's not Mendoza. That is going to be Mojica. And it does go out of bounds. Last touch by Bel Air. Another turnover for the Highlanders with just 52 seconds remaining in the first half. Zepeda with the ball, goes over to her left-hand side to get it over to Mojica. For 3, misses off the back of the rim. Mojica is going to go ahead and get that long rebound. And unfortunately, she steps out of bounds trying to get it away from that sideline. So a turnover for Hobbs. Not very many so far for them. They have been able to curtail that, but 33-8 is the score right now with 39 seconds remaining in the first half. And a easy one for Ross as she just picks that up, takes the pass, and puts it in for 2. And that's the easy way of getting points. Going back the other way, and it looks like it'll stay Bel Air ball as it goes out of bounds. Last touch by the Eagle. Back out, thought about a 3, is not going to get it for Duran. It's going to get double teamed instead. And a 3-pointer along. That was a WABA stop from Guzman. And we'll miss that, but it will be back to Bel Air ball as that was a travel. So another turnover for Hobbs, 5th one of this quarter. 9.4 seconds remaining as we have a substitution going in will be Navarro. And it's going to be 6 seconds to go as puts it over to the right-hand side. Thought about a 3, did get it blocked, got it blocked. It will be actually it won't be a travel, but it will be end of the quarter. So thank you for that. It was the tray that was lost was from Ross, so she's got 3 trays so far in this game unofficially. We've got the score once again of 35-8. We're going to take a pause, be back in a moment as we continue coverage right here on Lee County News and Sports, whether you're on HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube. We should be on Facebook page under the Eagle 100.5. So with the players Alina Armitage and Kareli Rivera out, Hobbs has had to do a little adjusting as far as their players to get some scoring done. But from what I've seen, they are not struggling much at all. They've outdone the turnovers. And that was the first quarter at 12. Second quarter for the Bel Air Highlanders. Lady Highlanders in the second quarter, to my knowledge, probably had more than this, had 8. So that is 20 turnovers in the first, unofficially. For Hobbs, not so great towards the end, but they still won the turnover and they won the tip at the beginning of the game. So third quarter will start off with the Highlanders getting the ball. So unofficially, it is 5 3-pointers have been put up and in for the Hobbs Lady Eagles. 2 of those from Zepeda and 3 from Ross, the 8th grader. If I'm not mistaken, I think she is also leading the scoring in the game. That would be $17 points, if I am correct. We're going to pause, be back in a moment as we continue coverage, but before we do that, we're going to go ahead and thank our sponsors, without whom we would not be able to put these on the air for free. Talking about Eastern New Mexico University, Lasco Construction, TDS, Badger, First American Bank of Hobbs, Master Plumbers, NMR Pipeline, Divine Energy Services, Eunice Pump and Supply, Hobbs Express, Forest Tire, Lee County State Bank, SunGuard Precision, Southwest Siding, Windows and Doors, Bel Air Bowl, and DNC Electric. Of course, we're also going to be covering the next game. Was also the second of 2 that are going to be going for Hobbs Lady Eagles that are going to be going to Texas. This time will be to Wolfforth and Friendship. That'll be happening on Friday around 6 o'clock. Be back in a moment as we continue coverage right here on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Actually, the Lee County State News and Sports. goes for Ross, and she does have 18 points to lead the way. All right, we got 90 seconds to go. We'll be back in a moment as we continue coverage right here on the Hobbs, HobbsAmerica.com and on YouTube, as well as on Eagle 100.5 on the Facebook page. One of the things we didn't cover was the point averages. Zepeda has got about almost over 18 points a game in her 3 appearances. In her 4th one, she's doing pretty well. Below average, so right now. Also have Mendoza, who's got 6 points a game with her 2. Mojica, who has not played, hasn't gotten a score, but is still in there playing defense. Hardison, and it is Ross, who is coming in with 11 points per game. Right now, definitely doing better than her average. Navarro with 4 points is 2 away from her average with those 2 points. Munez, she is leading the way with free throws, has not had a free throw today. 13 or 22 for the season so far. She's been averaging 12 points a game. Right now, though, has been kind of quiet point-wise. I think she's been doing a lot of stuff with her defense. 8 points is the average for Godwin, and she so far has 2 points. Getting underway for the 3rd quarter as we get that inbounded. And that will be over to the hands of Monterez. She's going to get some dribbling fancy as she is on the left wing. And get it back out to Torres. Top of the arc is Duran. She's going to direct traffic, get it inside to Monterez. A little too much of a pass. We'll lose the ball as it does not go out of bounds. Would have been lost anyway. We'll go back the other way for Hobbs. Underneath, back over to the center for a long 2. Misses that one. That'll be Godwin. It'll be a rebound and a put in for Godwin. So 4 points for her so far in this game. Goes across, underneath, and tries to lay it in, and that's going to be for Guzman. We'll get the foul instead. Looks like it'll be against, Godwin, who just scored just a moment ago. Now she's going to get her foul. First one of the game so far for her, and first for Hobbs. 2 points are going to be attempted for Guzman. First one is up and off the front of the rim, Miss Sereno. One more opportunity for her as it is 37-8, 7:10 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Guzman working on her dribble, gets that up and misses off the front again. Rebounded by Hobbs. Zepeda, one-arm pass to the left. Going to be a 3-pointer on the way and in on the left-hand side. That is going to be for Munez. And that is definitely her first 3 of the game. Hobbs playing D again on the full court press. Has about 3 seconds to go. Does get it blocked and will be back the other way as slow to get up after she hit hard on the floor, but did get up. It's going to be Hardison. 2-pointer on the way. Good for Hobbs. And a close one at Ralph Taskers. This one is going to go up and be missed by Monterez. Going back the other way for Hobbs will be Ross. Go back. 3-pointer up and in, and that was an assist by Ross. And in for Munez. Second one of this game. So I travel, and that is going to go back the other way. That'll be another turnover for Bel Air. Second one of this quarter. As coming out will be Hardison. So on the floor is Godwin, also Munoz, as well as Ross, Zepeda. And that is going to be up and in, not in, but up and missed. That'll be from Navarro. Rebounded by Bel Air. Goes over to, that'll be almost a walk. Instead will be out of bounds as it's in the hands of Pinter. So close to a walk, but instead out of bounds. Turnover for Bel Air, number 3 for this quarter. As a three-pointer is on the way off the front of the rim, will be Munoz. Tried to get a third in a row, did not make it. Munoz, though, again for another 3 on the left. Misses in the same area, but is rebounded by Hobbs. That is Godwin with a 2-pointer. Nice little jump shot from near the free throw line for 2, and that increases her to 6. Also puts up 44. Actually, it'll be 47, as it is 47 to 8. Over to Duran with Zepeda on her. Trying to get around, trying to direct traffic as well. Get it over to Monrez, who got up a long 2, missed, and will be rebounded by, that is going to be Munoz. Another rebound for Munoz as she goes over to the left. Assist possible, as that is going to be an assist for Munoz. It'll be in for Ross, another 3-pointer. And it looks like a timeout on the floor. So 50. Hobbs has exploded for 50 points, and Bel Air still sitting at 8. So it is a nice run for Hobbs. Be back in a moment as we continue coverage right here on the Hobbs Eagle Network. $15-0 run for Hobbs as we are still 4:54 left in the third quarter. Keeping me on my toes. 50 to 8. Inbound of the ball will be Duran. That'll be over to Costa. And that'll be a travel as she spun around. She moved her pivot foot, and that'll cost him another turnover, as that is Pinter who did that, number 4 for the quarter. And I've got unofficially 24 turnovers for this Bel Air squad. Zepeda dribbling in inside the paint, gets it back out again over to the right-hand side. Thought about a 3, but instead will drive inside. Get underneath before Godwin gets up and misses. Rolled in and out. It will be Highlanders with the rebound to Monrez. Taken by, that'd be Munoz, I believe. Yep, Munoz. Puts up a shot, rebounded by Munoz, gets it back out again. Dribbles around, gets it over to Zepeda, her favorite spot. Puts up a 3 off the front of the rim, and it will be rebounded by Bel Air. Costa with the rebound. She dribbles it across the timeline, gets out of that 10-second violation, loses the ball though. It will be a jump ball, as it is going to be Ross who ties her up. And we'll be going back the other way for Hobbs. Turnover number 5 for the quarter for Bel Air. Substitutions for Hobbs, and that'll be Mojica coming back in, as well as Mendoza. Munoz with the ball right now to the left, or sorry, right. Gets it inside, back out. Thought about a 3 for a moment for Munoz. Instead, a driving shot put up for Mojica for her first points of the season. Still in the backcourt, does get it across to Acosta. Being guarded again this time around by Mojica. Just put the last shot up. Put up and in, nope, missed, and will be rebounded. Actually, will be on the floor. Looks like it'll be a violation. Navarro is the one who touched it last. And the violation will go against, that'll be Acosta, her first. Team's first as well. It's Muñez with the ball, goes across the timeline, gets back over to, that is going to be Rivera, Mendoza. And that'll be up and in for Munoz. Hobbs easily scoring 54-8 so far, have blanked this Bel Air team so far with 2:43 remaining in this third quarter. Goes all the way over to the right-hand side, drives in, gets the ball, misses the shot, gets blocked, and will be a long rebound for Hobbs as it is going to get picked up by, it was Navarro. Was that out of bounds? Mendoza to Muñez. Muñez directing traffic as she's trying to get around her defender. Gets double teamed and will get the call. That'll be for Monterez. I believe she's going to be the one that gets the call. No, actually, it'll be a push foul. As Zepeda comes in. Out is Muñez. And that'll be the second foul for Bel Air. Zepeda with a shot, just catch and shoot. And two for Zepeda. 56-8. Continuing the monster score. Over O'Donnell inside, does get it intercepted. Another rebound, another turnover for Bel Air. Zepeda thought about a three, instead goes to her right. Gets it inside the paint, but had to fight for it as coming out off of it was Mojica. But loses the handle and goes back the other way. Another turnover for Hobbs. That is just their first in the quarter. Push is going to be against Mojica, her first. 56-8 is the score. Also have the Levington girls facing Roswell. It's a close game as the girls are tied in the second at 17. Inside and easy two, and that is going to be for punt for 2 points, or Punit. Hobbs on the other side loses the handle and will be a turnover for Hobbs. That is just their second in this quarter, I believe. And Bel Air with a minute 12 to go has 56-10. Have scored 2 points, but loses the handle. Another turnover for Bel Air. Easy layup on the left-hand side, misses it, but gets rebounded by Zepeda. Zepeda puts up her own shot after running into the lane and will get the foul instead. So many things going on. 56-10. 20 was the call against, so that would be against Punte. Foul. Actually, that's foul. First one goes up and is in for Zepeda. One more opportunity for her. And that is her second opportunity. Again, 7 of 8 from the season. Now she is 8 of 10. So still 80%. Three-pointer on the way off the front of the rim, no good. That is going to be against Mojica, rebounded by Bel Air. Go back the other way. We have 35 seconds to go in this third quarter. To Duran, top of the arc. That about throwing it inside. Thought about it again. Instead will be O'Donnell with a long 2, I believe. I think her foot was on line. Nevertheless, it was missed. And it is Mojica with the ball. Zepeda now inside, trying to get over to Godwin. Instead had to dribble away from being underneath the basket. She was too far underneath. And will go out of bounds. Last touch, looks like by Bel Air. With 10.5 seconds to go, 57-10 is the score. I do have it right. And we're going to have a change. Right. So 33 and 24 are in. Let's see, that is going to be Muñez back in for, that would be a 2-pointer from Zepeda once again. So she is getting her points in the second half. And that'll be the end of the third quarter, 59-10. We'll pause for a moment as we collect our breath and come back for the exciting fourth quarter here in just 30 seconds. So that third quarter saw 24 points for Hobbs and 2 for Bel Air. Give us the 59-10 score. And it will be fourth quarter. Once again, we've got to remind you that we are in El Paso, and Texas does not have the mercy rule. So we are going to get a full fourth quarter, which has got to make Coach Carpenter happy. That way he gets the most play time. And you can also consider that same thing. Of course, I think his next opponent won't be nearly as easy in Friendship. Going to get back into the hands of O'Donnell. She's going to drive the lane, get up, and wasn't contested but missed. It would be a jump ball. And one of those was Monterez, and the other one was Mendoza. So it'll be a turnover for Bel Air. Start the fourth quarter as Hobbs inbounds the ball and will be to Zepeda. Top of the arc, she's going to go ahead and almost slip, but she did not. Instead, passes the ball over to Mendoza. Mendoza is going to try to get it well passed, but instead looses the handle. It will be a turnover for Hobbs, as that is going to go the other way. Over to O'Donnell for a three-pointer on the way, and hits it. Drains that three. That, I believe, is her first of the game. Meanwhile, Hobbs inside, Mendoza over to the left to Ross. Ross has it at the top of the arc now, and will drive the lane for a two, puts it up and misses off the back of the rim. Rebounded by Bel Air, and that is going to be Duran. Over to O'Donnell. She's going to drive the lane. Actually, she's going to pass it up and get an assist off of that one, as that one went in for Acosta. 59-15 is the score. And Hobbs can pretty much coast, but Zepeda going to go ahead and put up a floater, misses. Gets her own rebound, though. It will be a rebounding foul for, looks like Zepeda. Full court sub, we haven't seen that in a while. And let's see who's on the floor, as Zepeda is one of them that gets out. It looks like it's going to be Melanie Monroe, her first time in this game, along with Navarro. It'll also be Mojica and Hardison, along with that'll be Mackey. So they take over, get back the ball. That'll be another turnover for Bel Air, and a running shooter for, it is Mojica. Back the other way for Bel Air and gets defended by Mojica. Gets it inside to a runner and nicely done, put up and in for, that is going to be, looks like it is Duran. So nicely shot. Goes back the other way, misses for Hobbs. But that'll be Mojica who gets, that's a blocking foul against Duran. I believe that's her second, or maybe her first, either way. Be a blocking foul, and they'll put to the line to shoot two. That'll be Navarro. I believe she has 2 points in the game and misses off the back of the rim, no good. She is 2 of 6 from the line this season so far, now 2 of 7. One more attempt, and that will be in. So 3 of 8. 62-17 is the score, 5:30 remaining in this game. As that one goes to Monterez, loses the handle, be picked up by Mojica. She also loses it. So a turnover for each side on that one. And a three-pointer is going to be fouled, as that was a foul against Mackey. So 3 attempts as she goes to the line to shoot the charity stripe. And that is, I believe, Acosta. First one is up and off the front of the rim, missed it. So second foul for Hobbs, first one for Bel Air in this quarter. Missed that one as well, so 0 for 2 on the free throw line with one more attempt. And does sink that one, so does get 1 of 3. 62-18 though, with 5:14 remaining, and it is going to be, looks like Mendoza, who just substituted in, will get a pass, miss it, and be a turnover for Hobbs as that one goes out of bounds. So quick tying of the shoe for Costa, and Bel Air back in the business. 5 minutes to go in this game. Duran thought about it for a second, almost got a travel, but instead did get it off. Kept her pivot foot steady. It will be a foul. Looks like that'll be against Mojica. And it is. Tried to get the ball punched out, but instead got in for reaching, and so it'll be the third one for Hobbs. Inbounding the ball will be Acosta. All the way back, but instead picked off, and that'll be by Hardison, her steal. As she is fouled as she was trying to get out of the backcourt. Actually, she wasn't fouled. She just got caught traveling. So a turnover for Hobbs. That'll be number 4 in this quarter. Still leading as far as the points as well as turnovers for this game. Three-pointer on the way, no good for Duran, but it's going to be picked up by, that is Mojica. She drives the lane, puts it up, and gets the foul. Does not get it in there. Actually, it was a double dribble. So, been known to do that from time to time. Turnover for Hobbs. That'll be number 5. Uncharacteristic of the Hobbs Lady Eagles. Gets it inside to, oh, she missed it. She was so hoping that would be in, but instead goes the other way. Trying to handle that one is Melanie Monroe, and instead gets the foul by Duran. Sends sends Monroe to the line to shoot 2. Have a score for you at halftime, looks like. That'll be 47-43 as that one goes in. And I'll tell you more about that in a second. That was from the Tasker Arena. Mendoza coming back in. We also have Ross back in as well. And putting up her second attempt. is Monroe. So Monroe comes out after that. She missed both of those. So jump ball rebound after the miss goes to the, and Zepeda is also back in as well. Over to O'Donnell for a long two, misses off the front of the rim, almost got her own rebound, but instead Godwin gets it and pushes it out towards Munoz. For three on the way and good on the left wing for Mendoza. Sorry, Zepeda. Have I been saying that? Zepeda for three. No. I've been saying Zepeda. I just in the hands of Monterez. Missed that shot though. It's the second shot that she's missed recently. As it goes over to Mendoza, and it is put up and in. Assist for Mendoza, but Ross with the two. O'Donnell almost losing it, does get it over to her teammate. Back to the left-hand side on the arc. Now back over to Monterez. To the left, O'Donnell. And tried to get it inside Durant. She turns around, tries to put up a floater, and she does get it in for a two. That gives Bel Air 20 with just under 3 minutes to go in this game. There's Ross with the floater. Nicely done as she puts it up and in. Nice shooter's touch as well for two. Going back the other way. It's going to be inside and a whistle quick as that one got into the hands of Acosta. A push foul though for Godwin. It is 4 fouls for Hobbs, one more than that'll put him in bonus. But for right now, 2:30 to go in this game. Three-pointer on the way and misses everything. Air ball for Toscanero. Inside for Godwin, nice pass, and it does have the shooter's touch to roll in. Godwin with that two-pointer. Didn't see who got the assist, but nicely done as it gets right underneath the basket, as you saw. Over to O'Donnell to the right. Getting defended by Mendoza. Does pass and loses it as it is Ross who's going to go ahead and get that easy layup for two from Zepeda. So assist from Madison. Speaking of which, Madison does have the ball again, so steal. Gets it over to the right. Mendoza has to go around and does get the foul anyway as a flying body gets her. And hopefully that won't hurt her leg too much as it is, update the score, 74-20, minute 42 remaining. Looks like we've got a whole bunch of subs again, so Carpenter doing the sub routine. And with 3 fouls, Bel Air still not putting Hobbs in the bonus. So inbounding will be Mojica. Then we all know Hardison back to Mojica. She's going to drive the lane, go back to Hardison. Hardison's going to go to her right, and that'll be to Mackey. Looks like maybe everybody touched it, and that went to the hands of Monroe. Monroe misses that shot. It goes back the other way for Bel Air. Guzman with the ball. Be defended against by Mojica. Now gets it over to Duran. Back to O'Donnell. And will be almost a turnover, but instead is able to get that, corral that pass. Three-pointer on the way on the left-hand side. Misses for Guzman. Will be in and out, no good, and will be Hobbs ball as they get it back the other way quickly. Inside, try to get it underneath to, that was Hardison, missed instead, but will get a shot put up before the foul for Mojica. And that'll be a foul for Duran. I think that's her either her third or fourth. They don't have the fouls on here. First one is up and misses off the back of the rim. That is once again for Mojica. So Mariah Mojica is the sophomore. Second one, though, is in. 75-20, 55-point lead. No mercy rule here as we get down to 47 seconds to go in the game. No look pass. Tried to drive the lane. Instead, throws the ball out of bounds. That'll be Poinette. Actually does get the ball back, so they retain it. So with 39 seconds to go, inside, try to find O'Donnell did, and could not get that to dribble in. That'll be inside to Monroe. Monroe's going to get up for two, as that is a nice assist by Mojica. So Monroe on the board with two. Quickly the other way, it's going to be another turnover for Bel Air and be bounced out. Maybe off the Bel Air, as that is Mojica who had the ball, was about to shoot it, but instead loses the handle, and no, it will not. It will go out of bounds. Last touch by Hobbs, turnover for Hobbs. With 2 seconds to go, puts it up and in. That'll be for Bel Air. And that'll be for Guzman. So the final score is 77-22. We'll be back in a moment as we get our bearings and check out the stats for this game, as well as talk about the next game for the Hobbs Lead Eagles. We'll be back in a moment right here on Lee County News and Sports. I was paying attention to everything else, and I did not change this quarter, but it is the end of the game. We are at the fourth quarter. I'd like to thank our sponsors for everybody who has been kind enough to be getting this on the air for us, and not only that, but for free for everybody to be able to watch it and enjoy this as we traveled all the way to El Paso, Texas. Next game is going to be in just south of Lubbock in Friendship, actually in Wolfworth, and that'll be at Friendship High School. I'd like to thank Eastern New Mexico University, along with Lasco Construction, TDS, Badger, First American Bank of Hobbs, Master Plumbers, NMR Pipeline, Divine Energy Services, along with Eunice Pump and Supply, Hobbs Express, Forest Tire, Lee County State Bank, SunGuard Precision, Southwest Siding, Windows and Doors, along with Bel Air Bowl and DNC Electric. Be back in a moment as we continue coverage right here on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Yes, we're on Lee County News and Sports. Scoring went, let's see, it was 19 points for Hobbs in the first, 4 for Bel Air. Second quarter saw 16 more points added for Hobbs, and Bel Air had another 4, so duplicates, so 8 points altogether for that one, and 35 points for the half. So 35-8 was the halftime score. Third quarter saw 24-2 favor of Hobbs, and fourth quarter was 18-12, and that was a final score of 77-22. So let's look at the stats to see what we can see. Let's start off with Bel Air. 5 points for O'Donnell with a tray that she had hit. Had Guzman on the board with 4. Actually, it was 5. 5 points for her. Monterez could not get those shots in the second half and just got 2 points altogether. Stayed with that from the first quarter. Tiscanero also had 2 points for her, along with Acosta, who had 3 points off of 1 of 3 from the line. It was Punete who had 3 points. I believe that actually it was 2 points is what she had. And Torres could not score, but Duran had 4 points. So that came up to 22 points for Bel Air. Now let's see, we had Hobbs had 9 scorers. The only one that did not score was Mackey. And Monroe was able to get her 2 points in the fourth quarter. So Ross did very well for the 8th grader. She got 1 tray in the first, 1 tray in the second, and 1 tray in the third. $25 points is what I've got her at. Got to double check to make sure that is correct. Actually, I think it's 27 points with the 2 free throws. So her best so far this season, and the game best, as it was also Zepeda who had a couple of trays. 3 to be exact. She did drop a third one in the fourth quarter. So that's 9, and then that's 14 points for her, just below her average. That's all right. I believe she's going to bounce back, so to speak. Mojica, who was in all 4, just got 4 points. Should know that would be 5 points. She did get 1 or 2 from the line. Muñez dropped her 2 trays in the third quarter and wound up with 8 points. Godwin got her 8 points, which is her average so far this season. Monroe with 3 points. She did get 1 or 2 from the line. Coming up next will be Friendship. Last season they played them. It was a tight game as it started off 12-7 in Hobbs, followed by 14-10. That was, of course, Hobbs with that lead of 26-17. Third quarter, actually Hobbs outscored them again in the third quarter, 12-9, and the fourth quarter doubled up, 12-6. Final score was 50-32. And so that will be the next opponent will be Friendship, and that is their only game they've faced against them in the last 20 years. So Hobbs has a record of 1-0 and a record of 1-win streak as well. Hobbs now with a 5-0 record and away record of 2-0. Looking to get that 3-0 on Friday. Let's check the scores and see if anything has changed. Last time we saw it was Loving Girls 29, Roswell 25, and the Coyotes hosting that one that was in halftime. Hobbs boys trailing by 4 in the third quarter against the San Angelo Central. That was 47 to 43. It is a long trip back, and I'm sure Hobbs is looking eagerly to get back to getting some more practice as well as being able to get on the road and get back home again. So we will do the same thing. Thank you very much for being with us. Once again, I'd like to thank our sponsors as well as you for make sure that we are on the air, and also want to make sure that you know that we need to support Eastern New Mexico University, Lasco Construction, TDS, Badger, First American Bank of Hobbs, Master Plumbers, NMR Pipeline, Eunice Pump and Supply, Hobbs Express, Southwest Sliding Windows and Doors, along with Bel Air Bowl, DNC Electric, Lee County State Bank, SunGuard Precision, also Forest Tire, Divine Energy, and Master Plumbers. Thanks again for all the support, and we thank you for watching the game. Once again, Hobbs victorious. No mercy rule here as Bel Air goes down to 8. Actually, it's 7. Or no, 8-8 is their record right now with a 5-game losing streak. Thanks again, and we will see you on Friday. Till then, take care.